write it to, right now, you write it to Larry Matheny, tax collector, and his job then is to apportion out the money to the different agencies for which he collects. So that's the secret of why there's a name on the check.
I don't think a lot of people know that. Now, what inspired you to become, to go after this controller, treasurer position?
It was a job I'd been thinking about since I retired. When I retired, I told people that I wanted to seek out leadership positions in education and a charitable organization and a government leadership position. And I accomplished that with the Christian School and the Railroad Museum. And suddenly and unexpectedly, Larry Matheny announced that he was going to retire. And I realized this was a job that I'd been thinking about that I could do, that there were things about the office that I wanted to make a little different, and that I wanted to bring the people into the office.
That's pretty amazing.
And I had just a few ideas, not so much for changes, but more things that I want to do. The website for the treasurer tax collector, for example, is not very easy to access. I'm not especially computer literate myself, and so many things are not easy for me to access, but everybody says we need to make that website a little bit more open, and we need more information on it. I want the people whose money it is, I want the people who paid that $1.6 billion to the county, I want them to know what it's invested in so that they can understand that. I want them to know how the county's collection efforts are going on the tax bills. And some of those things are not reported, or they're very hard to find. And so I want to open up the website. I want to go out into the community and do public forums where people can ask anything. I want people to be able to come up to the counter and say, I want to talk to Mr. Hintz about my tax bill, and Mr. Hintz will come out and talk with them.
It's new. It's
well,
definitely new.
Usually you see the tax collector 2 or 3 days, twice a year, standing out there taking the envelopes from people as they come up, and if you ask, he'll let you take his picture with you as you hand him your bill. But I want to be at that counter a lot. I want to be out there in front, not back in hiding in the back. I want people to be able to see the person who is personally accountable to them for managing their money.
Well, I'm amazed when you said computer, and maybe you weren't a computer wizard, but I'm amazed at the people who surround you. I mean, there's no I in team, as they say, but you got a lot of people supporting you. I know you're going to be doing an interview with Bunny Vreeland, and we have computer people like Andy Collins to do websites and things like that, but you have quite a camp behind you. Would you agree?
I do, and I'm especially proud of I'm proud of everybody who has told me that they endorse me for this position, but I specifically want to mention Hal Pittman, who was Ventura County Treasurer Tax Collector for many years and had to retire about 8 years ago. He is my campaign chairman. He is giving me advice. He provides me with information. He is a wonderful resource, and I intend to benefit. I intend for the people to continue to benefit from Hal Pittman's expertise in this field. And in addition, I want to specifically mention former Sheriff Larry Carpenter, a wonderful sheriff for many years who brought the Sheriff's Department to the people, introduced community policing, did some great things in the Sheriff's Department, and he has fully endorsed me also. It's been a great experience for me to be able to go out to people and say, will you endorse me? And have such wonderful people say, yes, I will. You are the person I want to be treasurer tax collector. And that's been a very moving experience for me.
How can anybody say no to you, Stephen? That's what I want to know. But I'm sure you're humble enough to handle that one.
There are other candidates, and there are other people who like them. in an election, you're not just running for the seat, you're running against other people, but I intend for my campaign not to badmouth anybody. I intend to sell myself to the people and convince them, as I have others, that I'm the person to lead this office into the future.
Well, look, did you have the volleyball probably vote, I think, in Ventura County, and I think some of the people we actually coached, or you coached, are now old enough to vote. So I think with your campaign with social media is a very smart one. I think it's setting the standards for leadership here in Ventura County and the world. So that's, I think you got a lot of population going for you.
Well, certainly I wish that, I hope that it is correct that everybody that I coached, except for the very last team of 6th graders, is now old enough to vote. And so I certainly hope that they are still registered in Ventura County and that they will vote. And it has been very rewarding on Facebook, especially to make contact with some of those kids. I coached kids in 1978, 6th grade boys in 1978, and they're vice principals and businessmen now, and it's very rewarding to be able to deal with them again and say hi. We
can count on their vote then.
Well, all the ones I've been able to contact, you know, one of the things that I really enjoyed over the years was that that I was very proud of was that very few of the kids that I coached or that I dealt with in Boy Scouts wound up standing in front of me in the courthouse. That I was very proud of that. I don't have a 100% success rate. There were, like all kids, a couple got off track, but that was really an enjoyment for me to realize that I wasn't constantly dealing with kids that I knew.
Now, as we wrap up, it's just like, what have you learned from some of the past people? You know, the former Ventura County Treasurer, Hal Pittman, has he given you any advice so far?
Yes, he has. He is very proud of the staff that's on board, and he has encouraged me to retain them and to let them do their jobs. You know, a lot of times politicians especially take over a new job and they're trying to make their mark, and what they do right away is shake up the whole staff. But I think it's clear that the department has a real good staff that's been very supportive of the people who've been the nominal leader, and I intend to stick with that. Hal has given great advice about safety and protecting the people's money, and I have talked with Larry Matheny, who's voiced most of the same issues, and that's the key thing for me is protecting this 1.6 billion of the people's money so that it's there when it's needed to support the people. And you also, as treasurer tax collector, sit on a number of other retirement boards or deferred compensation boards where you're not actually individually controlling the money, but you're certainly a voice to be heard in the management of that money. There is a lot of money at stake for somebody to manage, and that's why personal accountability is so important.
Now, just as a kind of a fun wrap-up, one of my favorite things I remember you as a coach, and it changed, I guess, but one of your chants was, "That's the way," as I look at the camera,
yeah.
And now it went to, "That's the way to play." So I want to make sure, maybe that was one of your political mantras, that that's the way to spend your money in Ventura County. You know, that's the way to lead the city into new and different levels. So hope you don't mind me ending the session by saying good night. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Steve. And again, that's the way to go, Ventura County.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pete.
It's good to have you.